Hello everyone, I'm Cristina Scabbia of Lacuna Coil and you're watching Loudwire.
Hey everybody, Gruhamed here from Loudwire, and it's Wikipedia Fact or Fiction time with Miss Cristina Scabbia of Lacuna Coil. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time today.
My pleasure.
Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Scoured your Wikipedia page, Lacuna Coil's Wikipedia page, so let's prove what's right,
Okay.
what's wrong. I hope a lot of it's wrong because I love the fiction.
We'll see.
Yeah, alright. It says at first, you were employed by the band only as a session singer to record backup vocals for a demo tape, but after they heard you sing in person, they asked you to join full-time.
True and not true, because I mean back then the lineup was already there, but they wanted to include some vocals, some female vocals, and they knew that I was singing, that I was able to sing. And back then I was the girlfriend of the bass player, so it was kind of natural for them to was just like, why don't you come in the studio and record something? And as soon as they heard the result, it's just like, this is really cool, let's keep it this way, and that's how.
Well,
but it's not that they employed me, it was more of a, okay, let's do it all together.
Well, that's fun. So it kind of started out as like, oh yeah, we know a girl. Let's bring the girl in here. She can sing.
Yes, sort of. I mean, they weren't really convinced to include a woman in the band because it was something really, really new back then.
It's very true. Yeah, absolutely. Especially in a metal band.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it was almost 20 years ago, so that makes me feel so old. But so it was unusual, and they weren't really convinced in the beginning, especially Marco, because I was his girlfriend, you know. So.
Oh yeah, that can be complicated.
But it worked out.
Worked out very well. Found a contradiction. It said, of course, Lacuna Coil used to be called Ethereal, but according to which page that you look at, it says that they were called Ethereal before you joined, and then it said they changed their name to Ethereal after you joined.
No, I joined and it was already called Ethereal because the 96 demo tape, because there were tapes back then, we were already called Ethereal, and we changed the name into Lacuna Coil pretty much the day we signed the deal with Century Media, because we wanted to have a more original name, a name that nobody else could have, and Ethereal was either in some other band's name or it was sounding like something else.
Coma lies. You felt like you were working in a coma, sort of like a different dimension.
It is true.
Yes?
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, I was wondering, when you're in the studio for something like that, do you get a little spiritual with it? Because the studio can be such a monotonous place. It can be very
it honestly is. I mean, the state of you're talking about, it's more during the songwriting. But in the studio, obviously it's something more mechanical because you know exactly what you have to sing. You know that it's going to stay there forever, so you're trying to do your best. Even if sometimes you have a deadline and you know that you have to record that song that day because you will not be able to do it in a month, and maybe you're tired or you're sick or you're thinking about something else, but you have to do it in that time frame. So definitely the coma state, in that case, the spiritual dimension comes out more during the songwriting.
Do you find it hard to tap into that side of yourself in a studio environment?
Yes.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Honestly, yes. Because I mean, even when we're demoing, I don't have my own studio. I mean, I have a computer, I have a microphone, but it's not that I stand up in a studio, which is very cold sometimes in terms of like atmosphere, in terms of temperature sometimes. So you cannot get 100% comfortable as your own environment, as your house or in the basement where we put everything together. So everything turns into something very sterile and you have to deal with it. It's just like, oh, I have to keep my head this way because the microphone is here and he has to catch. Yeah. So it's not a very ideal situation. Actually, probably I'm one of the few artists that hate recording. Everybody's just like, oh, I love recording.
I think a lot of
the
people
recording
hate
process
recording.
is awesome. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think
can't wait to be done with it. Songwriting, yes. Recording.
Heaven's Alive, although frequently labeled as an anti-religion song by who, I don't know, the song's name is not intended to be interpreted literally.
Yeah, And
fact.
And it's not because we don't want to offend anybody.
Right.
It's not because of that. But it wasn't really intended as an anti-religion song. It was more. I mean, the heaven we're talking about is basically when people tries to feed you their ideas or their lifestyle. So it was more against that. When we say your heaven's a lie, it's just like whatever it's good for you might not be good for me.
Right.
So it was not intended like in a religious way. We almost never talk about religion or politics. We don't really touch these topics just because we don't.
Yeah. So anti-zealotry more.
Yeah,
I
it
guess
was
you
not.
could
It was
say.
not anti-religion, but you know.
Yeah. It said the Shallow Life album was the band's first concept album containing references towards superficial lifestyles in the world today.
Yeah, that was like a weird album for us because I think it's been completely misunderstood.
Okay.
Because the songs are pretty much in the way of what Lacuna Coil ever did. We did some experiments with some of the songs that might have been confusing people, like I Like It, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to do something ironic as well. So even with the first photo shoot we did, we basically did this photo shoot where I was dressed up as like a pop artist, and Andrea
Right,
was dressed as a rap artist, and it was a joke. But we found out that people can't really take jokes, so they were looking at us just like, oh no, they changed their music. She turns into a pop princess, and they're doing rap now. And it's just like, no, we took these pictures to represent the shallow life, because we mean that there is something more. So from there we said, okay, let's keep the irony part for ourselves, and let's be happy privately.
Yeah.
But people never really take this, so that was a very misunderstood record, in my opinion.
I think us metalheads can be quick to react.
Yeah, but
before the subtlety kicks in.
Yeah, I mean, we have a huge sense of humor. I mean, we don't take ourselves seriously, so I had a lot of fun to film the video for I Like It, for example.
Yeah. Lacuna Coil was the first female-fronted band to be a co-headliner on Ozfest. That's true. That's a hell of a milestone in the career.
It is. I mean, I'm glad because I mean we have a lot of milestone, and I totally think we're blessed. I mean, we never take anything for granted, and it's so unusual that a band from Italy can do as much as we did.
That's, very true.
So far, so I never take anything for granted. And when we got offered to do Ozfest the first time, when we got offered to do it the second time, it was amazing for me, And it's not because I'm a woman. Oh, I did it because I'm a woman. It was just like great to do it. But of course, there's a woman thing. Come on.
That's still.
I'm not lying.
That still is super awesome that you get to be the first woman to.
It was cool. It was cool. I had a lot of chances to be the first woman who did like a cover for that magazine. It was kind of cool because I'm extremely glad to see that now a lot of bands are having female members, and it's not something weird anymore.
Female fronted is barely even. It used to be like a genre almost.
It used to be a genre. I mean, it's sometimes still categorized as like a female fronted band. It's just like, but it's getting old, and I'm glad that we're getting rid of this. And I'm talking about all the bands with a female that are still suffering this categorization.
It is a little antiquated,
Yeah.
I think. The music video for Fire was shot, but it will never be released.
Oh, that's because, I mean, we're on tour. We were shattered because he was like probably 4 months on tour in a row.
Yeah.
And we shot this video that was supposed to be to have a completely different plot. And that happens a lot of time. I mean, I get it. I mean, we get a script that we approve it. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And then you get there and it's something is completely different.
Okay.
And it happens a lot of time, and you work with it because you know that you have to deliver a video, and so you try to do it the best way you can. But then we saw the video and we're really, really looking tired. And it's like, okay, we have to deliver a video, but damn, we'll look so bad. So, like, a lot of members in the band said, like, okay, no, let's not put it out. And it's kind of funny because it keeps on popping out the web because the company who did it put it out anyway, even though we said no. So the label kept on canceling, and some other people was putting it back on, and it's just like, leave it there. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, we have so many videos where we look like shit. I mean, this is not gonna be. It's not gonna make a big difference. Whatever. It's our faces, right?
Oh, you look fine. Last one for you. It says the highest note that you've been able to hit is all the way up at A7.
I have no idea because I've never took lessons. I really have no idea.
Somebody says A7, I suppose.
Thanks.
I think it's like a whistle tone, which is pretty huge.
I have very, very high tones. We mostly keep them like in the background sometimes, but I can go pretty high. Sometimes it's easier for me to get super high notes that some like the medium ones, which is weird, but
well, that's like your Mike Patton.
My voice. I wish.
I wish. He can hit that
I can't
stuff.
growl though, but I will learn.
Thank you so much for taking some
You're
time
welcome.
for me today.
My pleasure.
Lacuna Coil, new album 2016, yes?
2016. Title is Delirium.
Delirium, there you go. Thank you very much. Cristina Scabbia, everybody.
Ciao.